薄いのアホ。
プリズムパワーメイクアップカードレディー。
Welcome to Shojo and Tell, where we discuss shoujo manga and tell who's hot and who's not, talk about themes, and just generally geek out. Today, March 28th, 2021, we'll be shoujo and telling about the second half of Waiting for Spring by Anashin. That's volumes 8 through 14. I'm your host, Ashley McDonald, and I'm joined by Kelly Quinn Chiu. Hello, Kelly.
Hello, Ashley. It's great to be back.
It's great to be back to talk about the basketball boy.
To more basketball talk. I really like how you specified what exact volume, so you guys don't spoil yourselves on the really dramatic happenings of basketball life.
Basketball boy's life, yeah, I know. Some dramatic stuff happened here, Kelly. Okay, but Kelly, if people haven't listened to our other podcasts about House of the Sun or the first one, because they're like, I don't care about this build up to all the real stuff.
I just want to get to the end.
Yeah, I just want to get to the nitty gritty. Who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly. Ashley adopted me and brought me back from podcast obscurity. I used to have a podcast called One Panel Later with my friend Angela before she left me for her hot new girlfriend. And you can find me on Twitter. I am also a children's and teen librarian. So the things that I am an expert in, insofar as I am an expert in anything, are hot takes on Twitter and buying manga for teen collections.
Yo, that's excellent stuff to be an expert in, like buying manga for teen collections.
I know, except for it's like constant. It's a constant disappointment because you like buy like you're like, ooh, I'm gonna get this like cool new series, and then you like watch it like sit on the shelf for like 1,000 years, and you're like, cool.
And you're like, the teens just want to read Naruto.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it turns out the teens, like the 13-year-olds, are still checking out like volume 66 of One Piece, and no one cares that you bought like Blue Period for them.
You're like, silly teens.
It's like 80 holds on like Naruto 3 and like no holds on Apothecary Diaries. I'm so sorry.
You're like, you have no taste, children. You have no taste.
Yeah, they don't. I highly suspect that like the good taste manga in my collection gets checked out by adults, and that's fine with me.
I mean, truly, yeah, like, isn't YA all read by adults? Anyway, that's a different discussion. All right, we're here to talk about basketball.
It's an inflammatory follow-up podcast.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so basketball boys. As
Yes.
I said, this is about the second half of a series. So if you haven't read Waiting for Spring, you probably shouldn't listen to this podcast. Listen to the first one and see if you like it, and then you can go buy it from Kodansha Comics. And because it's very good, so you should go buy it. All right.
Yeah, or do listen to this and then don't feel stressed out about what boy is gonna win. I guess when you read it.
Although, I mean, all right. We're getting there. I guess I should preface like briefly what actually happens in volumes 8 through 14 in case somebody hasn't read, volume 8 in a while. Read 14, it only came out recently. You probably just read that, so you remember what happens. But volume 8 starts where Towa has confessed his feelings to Mitsuki, and she did not directly reply to them. And then we have 5 volumes of like Towa, Aya, and Mitsuki just not like directly communicating. Like Mitsuki is never clear to Towa or Aya. Like everybody knows, but they're like, don't say it.
I do not understand what was unclear to you about her blushing.
I don't know.
and
See,
then
everybody
sitting
knows.
down. I feel that's how you respond to a confession.
Yeah. She blushes. Everybody's like, we know you like Towa. Towa's like, I know you like me. Aya's like, I know you like Towa, but you shouldn't. And it's just
and then only Mitsuki is like, do I though?
And
And
she's
everyone's
like,
yes.
I think that's all true, but I'm not quite. And Towa's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you think about it some more. All right, just like think about it really hard, Mitsuki.
Think about it for 4 volumes.
Yeah. So like the bulk of these volumes is just like, hey Mitsuki, you think about it, and we're gonna battle it out with basketball.
Yes, I like how after Towa confesses though, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. He kind of just like proceeds as if he did hear her, like in terms of like progressing the relationship. Like he's still like, oh,
That's
I guess
true.
I'll walk you home, or like I'll like sort of hold your hand here. Like he's like, It's fine.
He's like, I can't date you because there's a rule that says I can't date you, but like we're not dating, so
not
it's
dating.
okay. Like,
We're just walking really close to each other.
yeah, we're just walking really close. You just came to my house in my room with my cat. It's fine. We're all good. Then there's also like Ryuji and Nana drama constantly. That's fun. Spoilers, this ends with Towa and Mitsuki get together.
What?
What?
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh. And Ryuji and Nana get together too. Oh my gosh. It was
That
so
one
funny.
is the true shocker. Because like I really didn't think it was gonna happen.
I didn't think it was gonna happen either. It was so torturous. Like I was just like, oh my gosh. Like I read volume 13, I guess, a while ago when it came out, and I was just like, Asher, I wish I could talk about this with you. And he was just like, okay. And then he didn't read it for a while. I think he hadn't read a couple volumes before that either. But then it was just like so torturous for him that he was like, do Ryuji and Nana-san get together? Though I need to know. And I was like, you really want me to spoil that for you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, yes, they do. He's like, dang.
Yeah, it's like the real like surprise couple. Because I feel like there's even with all the Aya stuff that we will like get into, like the love triangle. Like, truly never thought Ryuji was gonna make it with Nana. Like, really didn't think he was gonna do it, and then he did.
I really just thought that like he would do it again, and then like she would just always reject him,
right? She'd be like, actually, I'm a grown adult and you're a little boy.
yeah. And I was like, that's gonna be cool, like that's fine. And no. Like it fakes out like that's what's gonna happen. But all right, yes, so that's all of volumes 8 through 14. That's like literally all you need to know. No, we're gonna have a whole discussion now. So I'm trying to spice up my podcast format here because I just feel like before I was like, segments make sense. People want to know where they can find particular pieces of information, but I was like, it just doesn't work. I'm always like forcing it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens. We're gonna see.
That's
what happens
good.
here.
I'm down to get spicy.
Getting spicy now. All right. Yes. So our main event, we'll just jump right to it. Is just Mitsuki, Towa, and Aya. What are these fools doing? Like, my goodness.
I really enjoy this love triangle in a way because, okay, so first of all, I think we like talked a lot of crap about Aya in the last episode, and I feel like our level of disdain for him only intensifies as the manga goes on.
Yeah, I'm just like, Aya, I cannot respect you. Like, ugh.
Like he starts as like, oh, childhood friend, like memories, and then like, I don't know, just continues to whatever, like just, I don't know, be too pushy, too much.
It's like, yeah, he knows that she likes Towa, and he's just like, but like maybe I can convince her by being pushy, and it's like, no, just like stop. I want you to stop.
Yeah, but I do kind of enjoy that to some extent because as you said, Aya and Towa and Mitsuki and kind of like everyone around them, with a few notable exceptions that I will drag in a few minutes, kind of know what the conclusion is going to be, and like to some extent Aya and Towa's competition is kind of like performative. Like I don't really think that anything that either of them did would change Mitsuki's mind.
Yeah, like you get the sense at some points that Aya's like really trying to win her back, but also that in the end when he like resolves for it, he's just like, oh yeah, now we're just playing parts, right? Like we're just playing parts in a romantic drama to make sure that Mitsuki is very on board with her decision that she already made from volume like 2. You know,
right?
like,
yeah, exactly. It's like she already kind of knows, they already kind of know, and it's like I just want you to be really sure. But I do think that the competition is useful, not really for Mitsuki's development, although like it plays a part because she kind of has to like sort out her feelings and like blah blah blah, mature as a person, whatever. But for like Towa, I feel like in like a really low key way, like really really needs the competition.
It's
with
true.
Aya.
Like Aya is much more grooming Towa to
right?
be a good boyfriend,
Yeah,
and be like, listen, you're okay right now, but like you need to step up to some challenges here. I need to make sure that you can do it. All right.
That's how I felt too. It's like he's like I want to make sure like you can take care of Mitsuki, and like we already know how Mitsuki feels, but you have to have confidence in yourself by going toe to toe with me, basketball star who trained overseas.
Basketball star who trained in America, where the biggest basketball players are. Cheating.
And then at the end, Aya just like kind of like, I don't know, just like fades away so quickly.
He's just like, I'm going back to America. I'm just gonna focus on the basketballs over there. Like,
yeah, he's like, it's been a wild ride. I'm going back. I'm like, you've been here for like a year, dude. Why'd you even come?
I know. I'm like, what is your deal here? What is your life? He's like, well, the girl didn't like me, so I'll go back to America.
So I moved
see
internationally. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, that's cool. Your life is chill. Like you're doing fine. Yeah. Yeah, so definitely the whole battle between Toa and Aya becomes one about like what does strength mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that it just becomes like it's like girly Kuroko's basketball. Where like, the whole main point of Kuroko's basketball is like Kuroko's like friendship, teamwork can overcome anything, even your basketball superpowers.
Yeah, even magic basketball.
Yeah. And they're like, that's garbage. We're gonna see whose magic basketball player power is the strongest. And he's like, no, teamwork can overcome your magic basketball superpower. And he proves that correct in the end, where this is just like Aya's like strength, being strong. I am the strongest, therefore I will win. And Toa and the guys are like, I don't like, we use teamwork. Like we're best friends. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we use the power of friendship. Ever heard of it?
It's like people that you need strength for that are beyond yourself is what makes you strong. Like that's actually much better for you.
Yeah. So as much as it is kind of like a foregone conclusion, I do kind of like how it's set up that like Aya's idea of Mitsuki is like kind of like static. Like he really like wants to be the like knight in shining armor for her. And whereas like Toa is like more of her like growth option, like he like really wants to see her like become independent. And then this leads to like Aya like lying to Mitsuki like all the freaking time.
Oh yeah, when he gets hurt and she's like, but Aya, you don't let me see you in the hospital. Yeah, like Aya's just really garbage. He's like so unwilling to be vulnerable and just like everything that actually symbolizes strength he's like unwilling to do. He's like, no, I must grit my teeth and
he's
go to basketball practice despite having hurt my foot.
The strongest. I know. I like how in the first episode of this I was like, nothing dramatic happens, no one like gets hit by a car or anything, but like Aya sort of gets hit by a car. But he doesn't die of it. Okay, he's fine. No. He tears a ligament. He's fine. But yeah, I mean, he like is so unwilling to be vulnerable in front of her, and is just kind of wants to be the guy who like comes in and scoops her up and takes her problems away, whereas Toa is more the guy that like wants to like help her like be the person she wants. And I'm like, that's very empowering, Toa, of you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, there are two moments where I was crying in the middle of this, and like I told Asher that, and he's like, "You're crying over the basketball boys." I was like, "They're so sad." Okay, like, what do you want from me? Okay. One of them was Toa's backstory, which like explains his ideas about strength versus like Aya's. Where he's like, Mitsuki goes to his house, and he's like, oh, my grandparents aren't here. Oh, Rentaro is here being annoying. My cat's here. His name's Milk. That's fun.
So cute.
So cute. Toa and this cat. I was like, oh, I'm dying. I'm melting. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so then like Mitsuki is like, I guess she's talking to Rentaro. Yeah, Rentaro was like, oh yeah, Toa doesn't have parents. And Mitsuki's like, what?
I know, Rentaro, the like wild meddler from the neighborhood.
Yeah. And Rentaro's like, you didn't know that? You should just ask him about it. So then they do get to talking. We get to see a backstory of like Toa's mom died in childbirth, I guess. Like
Yeah,
he said
so sad.
Yeah. So then his father died when he was 5. But he has a memory of his father where he catches his dad crying. And then he's like tries to go to comfort his dad in a children way, which is very sad. And his dad is just like, I hope that you can become strong enough someday that like you can overcome these challenges on your own, and don't need like a bunch of people to come take care of you. Like I hope it never makes you this sad and stuff. So then when his dad dies, he tries to become really, really stoic, like immediately. And his grandpa is like, are you sure you're not sad and lonely? He's like, I'm not sad and lonely.
I'm 5 and I'm fine.
And his grandpa's like, I don't know. I think you should come to youth basketball and make some friends and all these things. And then, Toa just comes to see, like, he sees other children being picked up by their parents and, like, these systems, and he's like, fine, maybe I want to go to youth basketball with you and make friends.
Yeah, I don't know, for some reason the one that really got me is like in his living room there's like the picture of his parents, but then the one I found really sad was the picture of like his dad holding him, and he's like 5 and mom is nowhere to be found, and I'm like, this is so sad.
I know. I was like, Toa, I love you.
Yeah, he's just like a nice, like such a sweet, nice manga boy.
He's nice. Yeah, and then it makes sense why he's so like quiet and shy and just like, okay, like I try to be a good boy, but it's like he has this tragic backstory where he's just like, my grandpa taught me basketball. Like everything about him makes sense from this.
Right. Well, then when you find out later, like this is like not like a major plot point anyway, but you find out that like Hojo tried to recruit him out of middle school, so he could have like gone and been Aya's BFF at Hojo, I guess.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe, waiting for spring. And he's like, no, I just like wanted to stay with my friends. Like it wasn't even really like a thing. And I feel like that's kind of his perspective on basketball as a whole, as much as it is part of his life. It's like Aya's like, I'm gonna be the best, I'm gonna win, and Toa's like, I play basketball to hang out with my friends. Like I want to be good because it makes us happy to win.
Yeah. Toa's like, my grandpa's really into basketball and like he took care of me all my life, and Rentaro's like my little brother now and he plays basketball. And it's just like Toa's just like, eh. And yeah. Well, that's why Aya's idea of strength is so garbage, right? Like he just goes to the best basketball school already and is like, now I'm the best of the best, so I must win Mitsuki. And it's like, oh, it takes so much more efforts to build something strong, like something that's weak, and turn it into something strong, like the Elite Four plus Rentaro are trying to do. It's like, come on, Aya, you're so garbage. Just like, I know you got bullied and everything for being girly in Japan, and then you went to America. Then you went to America, and we're always annoying and like bullying until you prove that you're strong. Maybe America messed up Aya.
Maybe.
Like we had a chance to correct him, and we just messed him up some more.
Yeah, we were like, he's fine.
We're like, he's totally fine.
Release him back into the wild so he can harass high school girls.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Aya.
He's just so like, Mitsuki is like too nice to him at some points. Like,
no,
she feels indebted to him, and I like get that. And she's like, we were like really close friends as kids, and he meant a lot to me. And he's like, but he really pushes her boundaries in like a very uncool way.
Yeah, he's just like, what if I just get on top of you while you're like in my room? And I'm like, what if you didn't do that? Like,
yeah, what if you back the F off? Because she already basically said she's not interested in you.
She has indicated so many times that she is not interested in you in this way, and then you just try to confuse her. And why you do that?
Okay, now is my time though that I do want to drag Mitsuki's friends, because
okay,
Reina and I thought Nana-chan was on our side.
Oh, that's true. I didn't like that reveal.
And she was not. I was like, Nana's with us. And she was not. She was like, but Aya, though. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I expect this from Reina, but not from you, Nana. It's like, I feel like Mitsuki, she has her feelings to sort out, and she kind of has to, you know, figure out like what she wants in life and pick her boy. But then both of her friends are like, but Aya, like Nana's perspective on him is like, well, you know, Towa's a great guy, but like Aya's like, the universe wants you to be together. He's one in a million. Like, you'll never find a guy like him again. And I was like, who wants to?
Who wants to date?
Right? Like, who wants to be with this guy who's like pushes all your boundaries and lies to you and tries to like make you feel helpless? Like I don't feel like Aya's like purposely manipulative of her. Like, I think he has like his own issues that he's working through. But that's how it works out. He's like always like pushing her buttons and like,
well, he's manipulating everybody through his like sob story, right? And it's like, aren't I a nice guy? And it's just like, yeah, he's a nice guy who manipulates you everywhere. And then it's like, can you really trust him? Like, no, he's very bad.
Yeah. And I was like, Nana, how dare you? Like, what's wrong with you?
I also did feel betrayed by that. I was like, Nana, come on, don't get sucked into this guy.
Yeah, no wonder Nana had all those problems dating before.
I know. I was like,
Ryuji,
Nana, maybe you're really bad at dating because you just don't have good taste in men. Yeah,
right? She's like, Aya's like the only one who will ever be like this for her, and I'm like, like, who cares?
Even Towa gets sucked into that a bit. Like, he's like, do you guys believe in destiny?
Yeah.
It feels like the universe is trying to say that Aya and Mitsuki are destined for each other, and the others are like, what? No.
You're like, no, dude. It's fine.
And Towa's like, but he's always there to save her when, you know, she almost gets hit by a car.
Yeah, well, true. But that's kind of like that's like really all he's got going for him. Is that he's like there to swoop in and save her. But then it's like not reciprocal, right? Because then he doesn't want to be taken care of by her. Like, he doesn't want to like show her any weakness.
Yeah. Whereas Mitsuki's idea of strength is just like, I just wanted to be cool as other people and help them out instead of them just like helping me all the time.
Yeah, Mitsuki's development over the series, I feel like, is kind of subtle.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I'm just a shy girl who like had a bad experience in middle school and I just want to make friends. And then like by the end, she's like not that much different of a person. She's like much more confident in herself and her friendships, and like feels more able to like step up and help the people that she wants to help, which is like really all she like ever wanted. Right? It's like, she didn't want to be the world's best basketball player. She just wanted to be like on the school festival committee or whatever.
Yeah. She's just like, I just want to help all the basketball people, including Pseudo-chan, who's like always getting herself into messes when she's like, I'm on the basketball team though. And Mitsuki's like, don't worry, I got you, girl.
Poor Pseudo-chan and her like total fade out from this manga.
I know, right?
She like, I was like, ooh, there's gonna be like, well, they kind of set up this little like foment this little confrontation, right, where we can talk in a minute why the rule gets changed for the basketball team. But like once Mitsuki and Toa are like officially dating, you know, some of the girls start getting like all shirty with her. And then Pseudo-chan finds out about it, and she like seems like she's gonna be like, you know, real mean. And then she's kind of just like, never mind. I'm not a mean girl.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not a mean girl. Who can be mean to Mitsuki? Like, I just don't understand. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's very interesting because I feel like, every time I picked up volumes of Waiting for Spring, like as they were coming out, I'd always be like, who's this girl again? Oh yeah, that chick.
The basketball girl. Yeah. Girls basketball girl who likes Toa. But yeah, she's like, starts out with this thing where she's like, ooh, Mitsuki, like, she's a real schemer. She's dating Toa. Like, I'm going to be mean to her and tell her there's like bad rumors going on around her. And then she's just like, actually, this girl's nice. It's fine.
Yeah. She's like, oh my god, she's took this place from Asakura-kun probably to like prevent him from interacting with other people. And she's like, oh no. Asakura is just always sleeping and playing basketball. So she probably was just like, no, don't do it to him. Like,
yeah. I also like the part where like, I don't remember exactly what's happening at this time in the manga. I think it's like maybe, I want to say it's when Aya-chan is injured, but maybe it's not. I think just other stuff is going on. But like Reina is like reminding her like, oh, like such and such game is this Saturday. And Mitsuki's like, oh yeah. And she's like, how did you forget that? This is like the most important thing ever. And I'm like, it's not. Like to Mitsuki, it's like not really, right? Because she's not like not a basketball fangirl. She's just like wants to support her friends.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care that they play basketball. Like that's just the thing that lets me go cheer for them. But if they played baseball, like I don't care.
Yeah, you know? I'd go cheer for baseball.
Yeah, like these things are interchangeable. You know, to me, it's like whatever.
Yeah, which I also think is like another reason why Aya being like, I'm the best basketball player ever is like not that compelling for her because she's like, okay, cool. Like I like to like knit or whatever. Like
yeah.
We all have our hobbies, right?
Yeah, she's like, that's nice. Like
she's like, oh, is that like impressive? And everyone's like, yes.
And she's like, I guess he's impressive because he was in a magazine once.
Yeah, I like how that's his like claim to fame is that he was like in a magazine. She's like, oh, this is serious. But as foregone as the Towa Mitsuki conclusion is, I did like how it shook out in the end.
Yeah. I
liked the wristband thing.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I think, did like Kodansha mess up the translation of it?
Okay, I was going to ask you this too. Thank God. I was like, am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Like, so in the end of what volume? Hold on. In the end of volume 10, she, for those who are not caught up on volume 10 or don't remember, Mitsuki writes in his little like wristband sweat guard thing again, and she means to write like certain victory or like whatever, and instead accidentally writes I like you, but I only writes I like.
Yeah.
Right? And then but the end of the volume he like moves his finger and it says I like you. And then in volume 11 he like pulls out the wristband again and just says I like, and he's like, I'll hear the rest of it later. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah. It was very confusing, but I was like, I just have to assume that Kodansha messed up and put the U in that one.
I think so too. Okay, maybe we need to like consult a professional about this, but that was my feeling as well. I'm like, someone must have like been like, oh, we're missing the rest.
And it's like, no, that was the point. It was dramatic.
Yeah, it was dramatic because she only wrote one word and she was supposed to write 2 words. But yeah, anyway, that was confusing, but I did think it was very sweet how she's like, oops, I'm in love with you. It happens. But I just felt like it was so like vindicating for Towa because he's such a sweetie and he's just like patiently waiting for her to like kind of figure her stuff out and come around, and then he got to have his like moment.
Towa also gives too much respect to Aya, but again, it does help him more, I guess. So
yeah, it helps him because he's like needs to feel like I like that at the end of it he feels like confident that he's like the right one for her.
Yeah, like he's like, no, for sure we are a super cute girl. Like let's do it.
Yeah, and I like that, and then I just felt like her confession to him is very sweet, even though it's like after he like whiffs it in a game.
Yeah. Poor Towa.
I know.
So, stuff happens, okay? That happens to everybody. Like, I don't know. I played ice hockey and I was on the club team in college. And I think for this game we had all 3 goalies dressed, so I was one of them. And like one of the goalies was like used to play varsity at Yale, and I was like, yeah, obviously he's the best. And I went first. And then just like he got like epically destroyed in the period that he played in, and the ref was like, oh, they should have kept you in, tiny girl. And I was like, I know, but like yikes. You know,
yikes.
Stuff happens. This was
Yeah, and then I also like the part after it kind of is like all falls out when like I think you mentioned this in your outline when like Aya's like lamenting his like sad life in the car to his mom, and his mom is like, you're 17.
I know. Oh my god. Every time that comes up, I'm just like, it's so funny. It's just like he's just like finally admitting that he was wrong and like what he did wrong. And he's like, but maybe I can. And he's just like, maybe I just don't believe in like romantic cute love stuff, and like maybe I'll figure it out later. And his mom's like, you are 17, you are an idiot, you do not know anything.
I love that part so much because he's like so dramatic. It's like his whole life has been like revolved around this girl, and he's like a teenager, and his mom is like, you're a child, get over yourself. Like, thank you.
And on some level, I'm just like, okay, but Aya's parents must have made him this way on some level. But I do feel like the scenes we get with them is like, no, his parents are really trying to like guide him, but also let him figure it out. And he's the one who's just so obsessed with these things, right? Like they're just like eye rolling, and they're like, listen. Whatever makes him do stuff like normal children, like it's just what we're trying to get him.
We're like, what's wrong with our son?
Yeah. Like we can't make him do anything. Like basketball is the only thing he's willing to do. We just let him go. Like we don't know.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Aya's mom so much in that moment. She's like, you're a kid. This is not the end of your life. Like, chill. But then on the other hand, true savior of Towa and Mitsuki's relationship, Grandpa.
I mean, Grandpa's kind of the true savior of all relationships. Like, yeah, well, he's the one who ends up changing the rule, I guess.
Yes. Oh my god, I loved it so much because it's like they make such a thing of it. Where like the boy, okay, first of all the other basketball boys are secretly dating, which is rude.
Yeah. I love the purity of heart from our elite ones, though. Like, thank you.
Yeah, our main four are like, we have to be good boys, and then it turns out like all the other boys on the team have like secret girlfriends. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay. And then they even acknowledge it. They're like, well, thank God those four, because they're like in the limelight, are like being good because we're being awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like such a big thing, right? Where they're like, if we win the tournament, we can change the rules, and then like we can finally be together with Mitsuki. We're gonna put our all into this. And then at the end, they don't win the tournament because Hojo's too good, and their coach is like, I guess I can't do it.
Yeah, he's like, you didn't keep up your end of the bargain here.
And he's like, nope, like I'm firm on this. Like there's just nothing that'll change my mind. But you have a new coach. And Grandpa comes in and like 3 seconds later, he's like, what a stupid rule. Let's change it. And I was like, I agree.
He's like, love is awesome, you guys. You're so dumb. And you're so dumb.
Right. Well, I feel like Grandpa is, first of all, I feel like Grandpa is just right. Like, it's like all the boys are secretly dating anyway.
Yeah.
And it's kind of silly to be like, hey, 15-year-old boys, you're not allowed to date. It's like, definitely everyone's just going to keep it a secret or be like really pissy about it. But I just love how he was like, what a stupid rule. No, you guys can be happy together. And I was like, thanks, Grandpa.
Thanks, Grandpa. You're the best. Yeah. But he's also, we'll segue into Ryuji and Nana with this. Like, Ryuji, I guess at some point, they all go to Towa's house and Towa's not there.
Oh, yeah. They go to like make Valentine's chocolate.
Yeah, they go to make Valentine's Day chocolate. And his grandparents are also going out together, like on a date or something.
It's their anniversary.
Oh, right. It's their anniversary. Yes.
They're so precious.
So all the, Ryuji, Rui, and Kyosuke, and I guess Mitsuki and Reina are there or something. And then, yeah, so then, Ryuji's like, they comment on how cute Towa's grandparents are. And Ryuji's like, that's what I want with Nana. Nana someday. And they're all like, you are skipping a lot of steps. Okay. That's fine. Like, don't tell that. Oh, that's the point where they're like, don't say that stuff to Nana. And he's like, I don't say it to her, but I'm allowed to think it. And I'm like, you are allowed to think it, Ryuji. That's right. Yeah. You fight this.
You dream your dreams, Ryuji.
You dream your dreams, Ryuji. Yeah. So Ryuji and Nana, surprise couple. And seriously, I feel like they stole the show. Like, they're the ones that actually have tension in their relationship.
Yes,
For, like,
and
whether
they have
they're gonna
like the
do.
big like kiss in the rain, like
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
final volume.
They take the whole final volume. They take most of the like longest and best short story, or not like the longer 3 stories in volume 14. Like,
Yes, and they
they're the
like make it to
center
third
one.
base before Mitsuki and Towa.
Yeah, man. They get everywhere before. Presumably, we don't know what Mitsuki and Towa have been doing,
that's
but they
true.
are very
Don't know.
innocent.
I know they are very sweet. I like when they like leave them alone in the room over, like in the staff room overnight, and they come in and they're like, "Ooh, did they like snuggle together in bed?" And they're like asleep against the wall with their like head on each other's shoulders. I was like, these babies.
Baby, they're like, oh, they talked and then they fell asleep like this. Little nerds. But yeah, like I'm just like, dang, Ryuji came. I mean, again, it's like it actually makes sense because the way the manga starts out is with Ryuji like wanting to confess to Nana, but they dragged out Mitsuki instead, right? So it's like
Right.
actually the first established relationship is Ryuji and Nana, and I'm just like, man, I really feel like this manga was actually like
secretly about them the whole time.
Yeah, it wasn't about Towa or Aya or anybody. Even though like Anashin is always like, I actually relate to Aya the most and like Aya the most, I guess. She likes
she
Ryuji
has like
the
some
most.
readers notes too, where she's like, readers love Aya, so I like really kept him in, and like his mom got to be in the volumes because like everyone loved him, and I was like, what exactly do they love about him?
Yeah, tell us more. Explain the psychology to us. Yeah. And so like I still think that while like Toa and Aya are 2 different pillars of like what strength should be, I think that like Ryuji and Aya are parallel to each other in like they're both very dead set on one girl, but like Ryuji's not, you know, an asshole about it. Basically.
Right? Yeah. Ryuji's like respectful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's true because Aya is like I have been in love with Mitsuki for my whole life, and I've like totally structured my entire life around her, which is a very healthy way to live.
Totally.
And then I'm gonna just like pursue her by like constantly putting myself in situations where I'm like all over her. And Ryuji's like, I'm gonna respectfully give some flowers to this girl I've had a crush on for a year.
And just like, yeah, like, I don't know, he's always going to the cafe to see her, but eventually they are all friends. Like, it doesn't feel like he's like being like a creepy stalker about it, right? Like, he goes with his friends. Like, when he's there, he's not like only focusing on her. He's
not
like actually
creeping
talking
on her.
Yeah. Like,
putting himself into situations where they're like alone together. Nothing like that. No. And okay, the flowers thing so heartbreaking. Oh my god.
That was the second thing I cried about. I was like, no,
he has like there are like 2 because it's like her birthday, and he's like immediately Ryuji is like really the only true romantic in this manga. Like all the other boys should learn from Ryuji, because even though he seems like a total dumbass, he's like actually like really on top of it. Like it's her birthday and he's like off he goes, and they're like, where are you going? He's like, obviously to get flowers, it's a girl's birthday. They're like, what?
They're like, Ryuji, you're not allowed to be cool. And he's like, I'm super cool. I don't understand.
He's like, I secretly got tons of games. It's just like hidden under my stupid exterior. And so he like goes to get her like the cute tiny like bouquet. And then her ex shows up with like this giant bouquet of roses.
Yeah.
I love Nana's ex too, because he's so inconsequential, but he's also like such like a shoujo manga character. He's like secretly rich.
Yeah. He's like a cute, cool, artistic, like schmucky looking musician person or whatever, and then secretly he's a billionaire.
Yeah, secretly like the scion of some like hospital mogul or something.
Yeah.
And then kudos to Nana. She's like, we can't be together because I just like can't live up to his family's expectations. No thanks. And I'm like, oh, good for you. But he has that moment where he totally gets overshadowed by the ex. And then he has the chocolate giving thing.
Yeah.
Just truly just brutal. It's like the whole page is him just like standing in the alley, like outside the shop, and like seeing her friends come up. And then who even is that guy?
Just one of her friends.
Just like one of her random college friends or something, like comes and
Yeah.
is like, oh, we should pair up. And Ryuji totally thinks like, oh my God, that's going to be her boyfriend. And like super sadly, like leaves without giving her the chocolate that he handmade her. And like, you're breaking my heart, this kid.
And then when he finally does give her stuff, he's just like he's been practicing trying to say, I love you, or I like you, please date me. And instead he's just like, I like you, please find your happily ever after.
Yeah.
And then leaves, and I was like, oh,
it's so sad. Like this sweet boy, he's like, just please be happy, and like runs out to like, you know, be with his feelings.
And then Nana follows him and is like, what are you doing, you jerk? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? I don't know if this is just me, but I was like continuously surprised by how tall Ryuji is. Like, in all the panels, he's like standing next to her college friends, he's like towering over them, and I was like, oh, I guess he does feel like an older boy.
Because it makes sense because he plays basketball, right? And it's like usually you have to be pretty tall. You benefit from being very tall for playing basketball. So I was like, I give it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I was like, oh, he does seem like a grown up. He's not like a total kid. And I guess he is 17.
He's 17 and Nana is 20?
Yeah, unknown.
21? Something like
that.
that.
She like college age, I guess. And I did like how it was like addressed for like one single second where she was like, well, the age gap did kind of bother me. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, yeah, it's like her whole hesitancy is not necessarily about their age. It ends up being about their like experience, quote unquote experience. Right? Like, she's like, I've done things, Ryuji, and you keep calling me a goddess, and you clearly have not done things.
Yeah, she's like, I once dated a boy, and like, you've clearly like never even touched a girl.
So she's like, I was afraid I would, like, she's afraid that she wouldn't live up to his expectations, but simultaneously is like, oh, it's annoying to have to train you, kind of.
Oh my God, yes. Is that in volume 14 where they like go on their little beach date?
Oh yes.
Oh my God, poor Nana. She's like, I just want him to make a move. And Ryuji's like, I don't know, we like held hands, is that enough?
She's like, we kissed once and now she's too sexy, how can I can't touch her because then do something bad. Like,
and she's like, please, for the love of God.
She's like, please look at my boobs and
don't I just want to like make out a little bit with my boyfriend. Like, what is happening? And I was like, Nana, totally fair, so fair of you.
Yeah. And she's like, stop using polite language with me, you're my boyfriend. And he's like, please let me out of the sand though.
I know Ryuji gets so many cool moments though. He like gets the kiss in the rain in the hospital, yes, which is like a very cool moment. And then he gets that beach scene where he's like, back off, she's got a boyfriend, like she's with me. And I was like, when does Towa get to be cool?
Towa's not cool. Towa's coolest moment is also in that story where they're breaking off from being at the beach and like him and Mitsuki walk away and Towa's like, I am being more perceptive than Ryuji, so this is ridiculous and I must do something to like spur him on. So he like brings Mitsuki in close to him while they're walking away, like they need to cuddle as they walk or whatever, and Mitsuki's like, what's happening? And he's like, just play along.
Play along, act like we're dating. Wait,
we are dating, but we need to make Ryuji understand how this goes.
You know, all these poor boys. And so everyone gets their happiness at the end. Even Kyosuke gets yeah, do you want to talk about Kyosuke's side romance?
I was just like, what is happening to me now? First of all, I don't like Kyosuke that much to begin with. So
he's
I guess
definitely
it's
not my fave basketball boy. Although I did like the part when they were at the hot springs, and I is like, "Oh, it's Kyosuke, right?" And he's like, "You can call me Wakamiya-san or whatever his last name is," and I was like, "Oh."
I was like, that's so good. Power play from Kyosuke right here.
Don't get too familiar, Aya-chan.
I know what game we're playing right here. Oh, it was so annoying that Kyosuke also comes to like respect. Like Aya tricks everybody into respecting him, including Kyosuke, and I was like, no.
I know, but I feel like that's what's so annoying about Aya is like it's this like tit for tat thing where he's like, ooh, Toa like took her on a walk, so I'm gonna get back at him by like taking her to like go look at some turtles or something. I'm like, you guys are kids.
You guys are children.
I mean, they are kids, but it's like that's how he thinks he's like being smooth, is like, you know, getting his little revenge on Toa. And I was like, this is why you're not a suitable love interest, because you're like playing games and Toa's just trying to like a girl.
Yeah, Toa's like, this isn't a game to me. It happened, and now I'm like, I gotta deal with it. Like, and I like her, and she's so good, and nobody else sees that, and they're wrong.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Pause on the Kyosuke thing. I just have to say, one of Toa's best lines is in volume 9. And I don't even remember what it is in response to, but I remember it vividly. Is when Mitsuki says like something about how like her mixed feelings and she like needs like a moment to like sort herself out. And he's like, I know, like I knew that the whole time I was falling in love with you. And I was like,
Toa! He's such a good boy. Okay, wait, now that we're back on Toa, I have to say this is completely unrelated to Toa being a good boy or anything, but every time I saw his clothes, I was like, I want to wear what Toa is wearing. like he had that one varsity jacket that had toggle buttons, and I was like, I want it. And then I like could not find one on the internet, and I was very sad. And just like all of his sweaters, I was like, I want his sweater.
Yeah, Toa's fashion is like good, but like in an understated way. Aya's fashion is like he's always looks like he's wearing clothes that are like 5 years too old for him.
Right? Thank you. I was like, he always looks like an old man, and I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like always wearing these like button-down shirts or like fancy jackets, and like he looks like a college kid, but he's like 17.
I feel like he looks even older than that sometimes, and I'm like, why? Why are you going for this vibe? It doesn't work for you. Stop.
It's trying to be mature.
Doesn't work for you. Okay, but Kyosuke.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, Kyosuke, who is always kind of like I'm like sort of ambivalent about. He's like the one that like they go to for advice because he's like so knowledgeable about dating, except for like, is he really?
Yeah, he's just always going for that low dig joke of like making it about sexy times, you know?
Yeah. And then first of all, his love interest. So if you haven't read volume 14 yet, dear listeners, it's like his sister's friend who's like 4 years older than him or something. Which like I'm like, man, these boys like really have a thing for older women.
They're really into it, except for Toa.
Yeah, only Toa is like an age appropriate love interest, which is fine. But then he like pursues her like so aggressively.
Super aggressive. And like her whole deal is that she's also some type of rich person, but she hates it. So she like tries to exert her, will by dressing weirdly and then doing all these crazy things, like running away half the time. And he's just like, I can save her. Like, I can totally do it. And I'm like, what? Why do you like this girl? What's happening? Like,
yeah. I got a lot of questions. And his sister is like, sure, dude, go for it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. Sister approved, so all right.
That's nice. But yeah, he's like, he kind of has this like low key, like, I've been working on myself all these years for her, like similar to Aya. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And it still was creepy, right? Like I was still like, I don't like this. Like,
yeah, I was like, I'm not that into this. I feel like it would have been like, I'm not Anashin. But like, I feel like it would have been more endearing if Kyosuke ended up like dating like a super like normal high school girl.
Yeah, right? Like, instead it's like, yeah, I can see that he's actually just a weirdo like this, and no,
right? Like if he was
that.
like, oh, this is my girlfriend, and it was some like hyper normal girl who like went to another school or something.
Yeah, instead it's like this very fantastical story where he like, yeah, has to be aggressive and try to be like older than what he is, and I'm like,
right.
oh, no.
He's like, I'm gonna become a doctor, and then I'll like, oh no, she's the one who's the heir of the hospital mogul.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
not Nana-san's
Yeah,
boyfriend.
yeah.
She's like, they like keep setting her up on marriage interviews with like doctors. And he's like, I'll be a doctor and like I'll come save you. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, and just like in comparison to Ryuji and Nana, where like it's a similar age gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like, but we get so much development with them that by the time it happens, and they like air out like every problem that they have, they do air out in a more like, it's much more dramatic and like, you know, angering, I guess, than Towa and Mitsuki and all those things. But it's like, it makes sense. You feel empathetic to them. You're like, okay, they can get through these hurdles because they do actually like each other. They have like, we've seen this connection be built through all 14 volumes, right? Like it's been there the whole time. With Kyosuke, I'm just like, I know, like this is not. This makes me uncomfortable. Like I don't know this girl. Like I don't care about her. Like,
I don't know you. That's totally how I felt. He's like gets like really aggressive with her and is like not in like a, I don't know, it's not like creepy, it's just like a lot.
yeah, it's
like,
just a lot.
He like really like comes on so strong and like confesses to her and like this like, I've been waiting for years to do this way and like I'm sure I'm here to sweep you off your feet and you're gonna love it. Then he gets slapped. Which I was like, deserved.
Yeah, exactly.
But even his sister's like, oh, but she likes him. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah. I was just like, I guess this needed to be here. Like, question mark.
I know. So everyone ends up with someone except for Rui ends up single. Which I feel like is undeserved.
No, I love it. I'm like, lol, Rui. You deserve this so much.
And I like how everyone's like, but Rui, like, so many girls are into you. You could just like date someone. And he's just like, pout.
I know. See, Rui's annoying because yeah, he's just like, when anything goes good for anybody else, he's all like, "But you stole the spotlight from me." And it's like, Rui, are you trying? Like, I know that you're the basketball boy who doesn't want to practice the most and all these things. You know, like I know you're the laziest basketball boy.
Well, okay, to be fair, his birthday party does get interrupted by them going to the airport to see Aya off, and I'm like, I guess I would be pissed.
I mean, okay, yeah, that one's fair because Aya's involved, so like, and he was actually very magnanimous. Like he gave Aya his sash, and Aya's like, I don't want this, but
I know,
okay.
He gave him his like bachelorette party sash. Like,
you're the star.
I'm the star. And I was like, thanks, I'm way too cool for this.
Yeah, he's like, oh, get this off me.
But yeah, I was like, that's fair. I'd be annoyed if I had to like go to the airport to see off Aya on my birthday.
Yeah, but all his other complaints are like, Towa's beating me, everybody's beating me and stuff, and it's like, yeah, you like blatantly acknowledge that you don't do as much work as anybody.
Aw, poor Rui. Yeah, I mean, no, he totally is like, wah. Towa got more chocolates than me when we were 7.
Wah. Towa got the girl that he wanted, but I wanted his girl, and now I have to just not have his girl, you know?
The Mitsuki Rui thing is so, like, I feel like even like Anashin realized this, like in like some of the extras. It's like such an afterthought. Like
she's just like, I don't know. I had to make one of the other ones be in love with her. I don't know.
Right? And he was like, I like Mitsuki, and everyone was like, okay.
They're like, sure,
that's fine. Like she doesn't like you, and there's nothing we're gonna do about it.
And we're not convinced that we should do any yet. Let's just like even try acknowledge that that
No,
reality
like,
could
it
be
was like
true.
barely acknowledged. He's like, no one really like comforts him. No one's like, oh, Rui, it must be so sad for you. They're just like, nah. Like,
So overall, I felt like Rui got what he deserved. Yes.
well, okay, so there's like kind of this push at the end to like set Rui up with the Hojo manager,
Yeah.
who, again, I thought was going to be like a consequential person.
Was not.
Turned out to be like not at all. She was just like Aya's girl manager. I did kind of like the like little setup at the end where they were like, oh, like she was in love with Aya and she's so heartbroken, you know, and then it turned out she was like not. Like she was fine.
I mean, there were definitely certain scenes in the main story where, like, yeah, the looks on her face and stuff that she would have, I was like, this girl, like, definitely wants to date Aya and is frustrated that he likes Mitsuki so much, right? But then
that's what I thought too. I was like, this girl is just waiting in the wings for Aya to like get over Mitsuki.
Yeah, but then apparently that's untrue, and I'm just like, what was this girl about then? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it ends up just being kind of like a punchline where she's like, oh, he's so scary when we lose. But I thought it was interesting how they were like this little push at the end, like, oh, Rui and what's her name, Reno?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna
happen. Rui's too lazy to go all the way to Hojo to date a girl.
Asher thought actually that Rui would end up with Pseudo.
I kind of did too. When they came in and she's like, oh, there's like this other boy and he has like such a nice smile. And I was like, ooh, is she gonna end up with Rui? And then it was like some other rando basketball boy.
It was Takafuji, the captain before,
right? Manager?
Ryuji. No, I think he's captain.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Rui too, because they did have that one scene where, you know, like, Pseudo's, I think, talking about how much he likes Asakura, and, like, Rui's the one who's, like, comforting her in that scene or whatever. So I was like, oh,
yeah, and it isn't
work.
Rui the one who tells her that Towa doesn't like anyone?
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, oops.
Oops.
So yeah, I kind of thought they were going to be a thing, and then no.
And I was like, these are choices. Yeah. Screw you, Rui.
Rui, you get nothing.
You get nothing.
Everyone else gets happiness and you get nothing.
At least he didn't end up with Reina.
Oh my god, that would have been so bad. Oh yeah, I think we didn't talk about Reina at all, but I think you mentioned in the outline the her kind of ending scene where the other girls find her notebook.
Yeah.
Which I do think is worth talking about.
I felt like I remembered that it happened. And I actually remember overall liking that chapter, because that chapter is the one where she's like actually Mitsuki's giving the speech. And like Reina does something cute at the end where she's like, you know, Mitsuki, come give me a hug after the speech to like be like, good job. And so Mitsuki like runs at Reina, and then Reina moves out of the way, and Towa's behind her. So Mitsuki's just hugging Towa. Aww. And she's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. But then Towa picks her up and is like, good job. And I was like that image distinctly is in my mind, where it's like, you know, Towa has her held up in his arms, and Reina's like down there like laughing, you know, in the corner. Like that image stuck really hard in my mind. But overall, I was just like, it's really weird to have set up, like, there are other instances in the manga where Reina loses her notebook where clearly she's writing fan fiction about the Elite Four.
Yeah, her RPF.
yeah. Her RPF stuff where they're all romantically in love with each other, and, you know, this, like, compromising stuff probably happens. So then I was just like, okay, like I remember that moment happened. I just thought it was so weird for it to happen at the very end. Like, I'm just like, this is like super unnecessary and like drama that I don't care about, you know, like unnecessary drama.
Yeah, I feel like the way it happens is kind of like revealing of what Reina's arc as a whole, where it kind of feels like Anashin like didn't really know what to do with her after a certain point.
Yeah,
like,
that's the other thing. She becomes less like creepy actually in the volumes that we were reading. Like overall, she's like not doing as many, like she goes to games and she's like, I didn't even bring my camera this time. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, oh girl. You must be serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like she kind of starts out as this like jokey, like fujoshi character, and then ends up being like mostly just a friend, but like a minimally supportive friend in some ways. Like Mitsuki is like a little bit nervous to tell her about Towa because of like how she'll react.
Yeah.
And she's like kind of like meh about about like their whole relationship. She's like, it's fine, I guess, that they're dating, and then she does support her as a friend, like when like the nasty second years are.
Yeah, she's like, I will cut you.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. But then it's like having that moment where she finds the girls find her notebook, the nasty girls find her notebook as kind of her like last moment. It's just kind of, I don't know, it just said to me like, we kind of like lost track of this character along the way. She didn't really get any like have any developments that could like be dramatic at that point. Like we never learn anything about like her personal life.
Oh, that's true.
Right? Like, who is she?
Who is she? Yeah, and she's always just able to like come along on their trips, like there's no like, oh, she has to do something, like her parents want her. It's always just like, nope, I can go to the amusement park.
I can go to the hot springs.
Like, yeah, like whatever.
It's fine. It's totally cool. Like, she's always free. She's like liked by lots of people, but like mostly hangs out with Mitsuki. She is a fujoshi, but like doesn't have like a fandom or like any friends. That are
yeah, it's like she gets along with everybody, but also everybody knows that she's a creepy fujoshi, and I'm just like, something doesn't add up here.
Yeah, so I feel like she needed to do something with Reina at the end, and this was like all that was left.
I just feel like it would have been good to happen in like the second time she had lost her notebook in the story, like in the middle somewhere. Yeah.
So there was like nothing really, and then it ends up being a moment that's like not even really about Reina, because then the nasty girls make a mean comment about Mitsuki and Reina like springs to her defense.
It's true. It ends up being about Mitsuki again.
Yeah, so it ends up just being her defending Mitsuki, which was really nice because it was like nice to see Reina supporting her in her romantic pursuits instead of being like, I guess you can date a boy. But it was also like, yeah, it wasn't really about Reina at all. It ended up just being like another like, you girls need to back off. Mitsuki's a nice girl.
You don't know anything. And they're like, fine, whatever. Have your stupid notebook back. Bye.
Yeah. But then they like trample all over Mitsuki's speech. Oh, those mean girls.
Mean girls, man. Can't trust them. I think, yeah, you had mentioned last episode that it's like, really all Mitsuki needed to figure out was that she actually has an easier time getting along with men than, like, she has her core girlfriends that she found, but like kind of through the help of her men,
Yeah. Yeah, okay. She ends up just being like, actually, the boys are her good friends. That's true. I mean, she gets along with girls. She ends up like getting along with like Pseudo and like actually I really like those two friends that are in her class whose names I can't even remember because they're so unimportant.
Oka and I don't know.
Yeah, those girls, the ones who like,
Towa doesn't remember their names either.
Yeah, Towa doesn't remember them either, and he's in their class, so I think we're excused. But yeah, they're the ones who like blurt out like, you're Towa's girlfriend, like in front of all the girls, and then they're all happy for her. I was like, these are nice friends.
It's very real that most people like only have a couple actually close friends, and then like everybody else is just like a nice acquaintance, and you see them again, you're like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah, I liked that those girls like spilled the beans to Towa about the mean girls.
Oh yeah, that was like the one dramatic tension moment in like Mitsuki and Towa's relationship. I feel. Was Mitsuki being like, I tell you everything, Towa, and he's like, you didn't tell me you were bullied though, and she's like, this is not going as planned. It's his birthday, and now he is upset.
Oh, that's also the same date that they go on where Mitsuki's like trying to like make his heart doki doki or something, right?
Yes.
And so she tries all these like, she's like, Towa's so calm and cool, like I'm gonna make his heart race. And then she like tries all these things, and he's like, okay.
He's like, yeah, you should call me by my first name because you call everybody else by their first name, so why not me? And it's just like,
yeah, and she's like, Towa-kun, and he's like, and she's like,
Had a lot
poor
of fun.
girl. Trying
He
so
keeps trying to
hard.
reassure her. He's like, no, my heart does race. Don't worry. Like, hug.
And he's like, I'm really excited. I'm just a very chill person.
Yeah, it's like, I thought you liked me because I'm chill. I have the same face. I don't make expressions. Sometimes I smile, and that really gets you, right, girl? Yeah.
Yeah, and she like holds his hand and stuff. And she's like, nothing's working.
Nothing's
But then, yeah, that ends up
working.
being like the thing, right? Is because he like gets angry on her behalf. And so then she's like, oh, he does really like me.
Yeah. And she's like, but I don't want him to be angry at me for not telling him a thing because it's his birthday and we're supposed to be having fun. Poor Mitsuki.
I know, poor thing. They're just cute. I like Mitsuki's sister also, who like discovers them like canoodling on the bench.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this is what you were doing.
She's like, well, now, which one of them? Towa was sleeping on her. That's no,
Yeah. And she's like,
it's always like, which one of them is sleeping on the other
it's
one?
so true. That's like their big things when they like fall asleep on each other. It's like, aww.
Yeah, like they kiss like twice.
Yeah, they kiss like twice or 3 times maybe. Meanwhile, like Toa's like, why don't you come over to my house, Mitsuki? And then she like is like, ooh, like doki doki doki, and like goes over there and he's like, here's my cat, here's my grandpa. Like, want to make cookies in my kitchen? Let's hang out in my room. Like Ryuji's like, Nana, want to come to my place? And they like actually
bone down,
yes!
yo.
I was like, this is what we thought was gonna happen.
No, but I love the scene where they do kiss in Toa's room, and then the cat is outside of the room though, and like whines, and he's like, "Oh yeah," like, that's such a cat thing to happen.
I know the cat's like, meh.
I'm like, cats definitely are always like cock blocking you. I will not lie. Like, cats, that's like what cats do.
Yeah, that's the most realism that there is.
Yeah, the most realism that there is.
Also, I like how Toa's like grandparents are like, oh, this is your girlfriend? Come over, whatever. Like, bye, we'll leave you kids alone.
Yeah, they're like, have fun.
And like they must just like know their grandson who's like, oh, I guess we're all alone together. Should we take a nap?
Should we take a nap? Yeah, they're just like, Toa won't do anything. Toa's stupid.
Toa's just like too pure.
Toa's too good.
But it hasn't even occurred to him.
Yeah. Only through other people like making fun of him constantly does it start to it. He's like,
He's like, maybe we should.
Maybe we should kiss twice in a row.
Oh, not twice. I think in like the last chapter of volume 14, it's like a mini time skip to them like graduating, and I think they have some kind of like little kiss under like cherry blossoms, and it's like, isn't it great that we'll be happy together forever?
I love how much he aged them up for like 2 years ago. I was like, what?
Her aging up of Toa is literally like his hair is parted in a different way.
But Mitsuki, the way she did her hair, I was like, girl, did you turn into a 30-year-old? Like, what's happening?
She got all fancy, and then it was like, Toa time skip. Now his hair is parted on the side.
Oh my god.
He's a totally different man. I appreciate it though. I don't really like time skips as epilogues. No. I didn't like it in Harry Potter. I don't really like it in Shojo manga, especially where it's like, we're married now and it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I'm always like, but I feel like a time skip to the end of high school is acceptable.
That's exactly. Yeah, the only hint of marriage was that you made the covers of the last chapter in volume 13 be them in like bridal stuff.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's like obligatory to have.
You have to do it.
Yeah, you like have to put the girl in a wedding dress in the last chapter of the shoujo manga. Like, it must occur.
You're like, you must guarantee this happily ever after.
But yeah, I'm like, this is fine. This is
This
nice
is
that
fine.
you know that they're like still happy. I just didn't want one where it was like, 15 years in the future, here are our children.
Yeah. Oh no.
What would Toa's career even be? I have no
Something with
idea.
sports. I don't know. He's just gonna teach youth basketball like his grandpa.
Right? I'm like, does he even like go to school? He sleeps
Does he
through all
even
his
go-
classes.
No, he gets private tutored by Kyosuke.
That's true, yeah. So I guess he'll follow Kyosuke's footsteps and be a doctor.
Oh god. Oh yeah.
Like how Kyosuke was like, yeah, I am too smart to go to this school.
Yeah, they were all like, we shouldn't have gone to this school. And Ryuji and Rui are like, what?
Yeah, Toa's like, I'm too good at basketball to go here. And Kyosuke's like, I'm too smart to go here. And they're like, are we dumb?
Are we dumb? Yes.
Like, yeah, you guys really held your friends back in this case.
You held your friends back from greatness. What's wrong with you? No. You make your own greatness. That's right.
Yeah, Toa probably will end up being like a youth basketball coach. I think their like date, he like took her to like the youth basketball league.
I know. I was like, Toa, what are you doing? And he's just like, I didn't have any plans. But then you looked so sad and concerned about Ryuji, and we had to go outside.
I know. And then Ryuji's brother is like, Toa, please take your girlfriend on better dates. Like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing here?
He's like, what are you doing? This is not a date. God.
Yeah, he's like, I like really like that. I feel like that's very Toa though, that his friends need to like even like acquaintances need to like pull him aside and be like, Toa, you need to like take your girlfriend to get ice cream or something. Like,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing here?
Go for a walk in the park. Like, it's not that hard.
And he's like,
Oh.
basketball? Could we just go to the basketball court?
Yeah. Let's play one-on-one. Let me just teach you stuff. Yeah, like
Yeah, there's like some side chapter where they like make bets. And
Yeah.
it's like oh, whoever wins like gets like an hour for Mitsuki to like do whatever they want. And Toa's like, I'm gonna win it. And then like the thing he wants her to do is like throw the balls for him to like practice dunking. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, Toa.
And they were all like, oh, Toa, God.
Toa.
Like,
Jesus.
what's wrong with you? What was your favorite of these like very short, side stories that happened like supposedly between volumes, but we only got to read at the very end, and I did not read in the proper order. Now I'll have to read it all again just to read these 5-page stories.
These 5-page stories. I don't even, to be honest, they're like a blur. Like I don't even like. I remember the beach chapter. I was like, oh, that one made an impression because I'm very invested in Ryuji and Nana.
Yeah.
But like the rest, I was like, I don't know, they're fine.
No, definitely flipping. Like when I got volume 14, I was like, oh, I gotta read all the other volumes first. But I was like, I want to know what happened. So I like flipped through it, and I saw that they went to the beach, and I was like, ooh, spicy.
Ooh, they're wearing bikinis.
I was like, oh, look at this disaster about to happen. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can tell you which chapter I didn't like, which isn't even a side story. It was like one of the epilogues, but it was the one where Aya like takes that little kid under his wing.
I was like, what is this?
I was like, oh my god, I don't care. Like, I don't care so much.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like, here's a recap of Aya's life and why he's so sad. And look at him helping this little kid who looks like Toa, a younger version of Toa. And I'm just like, what is this? I don't want this.
I think it's like a last ditch effort to try to like really like humanize Aya and have him like, pay it forward and like put his experience to like positive use instead of like creepy pushy use. But I did think it was a little sad that he like that little like 2 pages where he kind of like imagines what it would have been like. Right? If he like met Mitsuki before she met Toa, and he's like, would things have been different?
And then he concludes that they would not have. Like, if it wasn't that if Mitsuki had never met Toa, it was that would it have been different if he had met her first? Like, he assumes in that timeline they would have inevitably met, I think, right? Like,
yeah.
But he's just like, if I had gotten to her first, would she have felt differently? And he's just like, I don't know, no. Like, no.
Probably not. Probably the same. I mean, and I feel like that's kind of true because it's not like Mitsuki and Toa had like the super close relationship before she met Aya again, right? They were like just friends.
Yeah.
And Mitsuki's first reaction to Aya was like, I thought you were a girl.
Yeah, like that reaction still would have happened, you know? It's like
Yeah, I'd be like, wait, what? You're a dude? Not like
Yeah.
instant love.
Yeah, no, and yeah, like assuming that most other things would have stayed the same. Like it's not like they go to the cafe not for Mitsuki in the beginning, but for Nana and like Ryuji, right? So it's like Mitsuki still would have kept meeting them frequently, you know, like she would have become friends with them anyway, presumably.
Yeah. I think Aya's right. There would have been no difference. Oh, actually, no, I do remember a side story that I like. The one where it's like an omake, like super short, but they like the boys are like imagining like what Aya does on his day off.
Oh yeah.
And Ryuji's like, I don't know, probably like waves hi to old ladies and like does a bunch of like works out and then like I don't remember what the last one was. It was like, oh, watches himself play.
Oh yeah, watches the
like watches
games.
videos of himself play.
And he's like, I'm so
basketball.
awesome.
Be like, I'm really cool. And then they were like, that's ridiculous, Ryuji. And then in the end, that's like exactly what he does.
Well, they were like, that's ridiculous, Ryuji. That's what you do. So no. And he's like, I don't have any imagination. And they were like, actually, yeah, it is what I am mostly. See, that's why I'm like, Ryuji and Aya are also foils.
They totally are. Except for Ryuji's like a nice boy and Aya's like needs therapy or something.
Yeah. Aya needs help. Yes, exactly. My favorite of the very short stories was the one where like they were like, we're gonna do a private part. We're gonna help out with a private party at the cafe. Aside from that chapter that they do, yeah. And then they were like, oh, so we should dress up like the boss to make sure that it's very clear that we're waiters. But then like Toa and Ryuji misinterpret that as like we should literally cosplay the boss.
Yes.
And like Toa comes out and they're like, why are you wearing glasses? And he's like, I thought we were cosplaying the boss. And they're like, no, you idiot. And then Ryuji comes out with glasses and like a mustache.
Yes. I know, they were like, only Toa would be stupid enough. And then
Ryuji's here. And I'm just like, oh my god, yes, this is amazing. Yeah. But I also related to it because like I also get very, when people like give instructions and they think they're clear, I'm like, but it's not clear. I need very clear examples, otherwise I'm gonna mess it up. Like, please tell me very clearly what is happening.
It's just why, once again, why Ryuji is like secretly the secret best boy.
Ryuji is the secret best boy here. Yeah, I know. That's why that poll from volume 6 or whatever, wrong.
So wrong.
The wrongest. Yeah, the one other thing that I really wanted to bring up was I really do like the series' subversion of the reverse harem trope, which is like noted blatantly by Ryuji in some of the comics because he's the one who like messes it up the most, I feel, right? Like he's like, I only like Nana. And just like, why does anybody like Mitsuki? She's not cool. You know? Like,
yeah,
she's not a goddess.
One track mind. Yeah, is that there's like one where he like imagines like Rui like going in for like trying to like kiss her or something after Toa confesses to her, and I was like, Rui, good thing you never did that, because
Mitsuki probably would have been too nice about it, but you deserve to be slapped if you did that.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, I guess we have 3 boys who like Mitsuki, but I'm like, that's not a harem. You need at least 4.
I agree, that does not a harem make.
Yeah. Like if Kyosuke had actually been into her, like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, if Kyosuke had actually been into her, or if Rui had just been like more into
yeah, if
her.
Rui had been more serious about it, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of like I'm thinking actually of like way throwback, but like Ouran High School Host Club. Like how is it Hikaru, right? One of the twins is like really into her.
Yeah.
But he's never like a serious love interest, but you like really feel like he does like her and is like kind
Yeah,
of
like
sad.
he tries.
Yeah, he makes an effort.
Yeah.
But it's never like a love triangle. It's really,
Yeah.
it's always like a foregone, like, sorry, she's not gonna be with him, but like he tries, and it's like, you can see his like kind of sadness that she's like not into him and it's not gonna happen. Rui is like not that level.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, this series definitely has a classic like harem setup, right? Like there are 5 guys, and it's like,
I know, it's so funny. All the art is like Mitsuki and all the boys
and all the boys, yeah, right. So it's like, okay, yeah, if all 5 of them were into her, like absolutely a harem, right? But then it's like, most of them don't actually like her.
Yeah, most of them are
okay.
like meh. And Rui, I feel like, only is like quote unquote into Mitsuki just because he has like truly nothing better to do.
Yeah. Yeah, versus like in Oran, yeah, as you said, it's just like you get the sense that as they all get to know Haruhi, like they all have this twinge of like, oh, maybe I like Haruhi, right?
Yeah, right. Where you're like, oh, she is like a really nice girl who I could
Yeah. But then in in this, it's like, oh, Kyosuke never really has that moment. Rui's moment is like, what? That doesn't make sense. Ryuji's like, Mitsuki, lol.
Yeah. Ryuji's like, wait, Mitsuki's a girl? Like, he is so oblivious. Yeah, I feel like Rui is just like, he is like, all the guys kind of end up just like appreciating her like as a friend.
Yeah.
And even Ryuji.
He's like, I guess she's a good friend.
Right? And Rui's kind of just like, oh, I guess I'm into her, I guess, because we like hang out. Like,
she's cute.
Like, maybe just because she's like different from like all the fangirls.
Yeah, she's not screaming over him just inherently.
Yeah, but they like literally have like no connection. Like, I'm like trying to like struggling to remember any scene they have that's like just the two of them.
Aside from the one where they're like, they went to look for the thing and Toa like overhears them in the staff room.
Yeah.
Mitsuki lost something. That's like the one time I can remember they're like alone together.
Yeah, or I think they have like one scene alone at the hot spring where they're supposed to be looking for Mitsuki because they think she's off alone with Aya.
Oh.
And then Rui finds her first and
Yeah.
like spills the beans that like Aya is actually like off somewhere alone, and Mitsuki like goes to find him. That whole hot springs trip is so weird.
The whole hot springs trip, Chiu, is very weird because they're like, she's like, I want you to be friends, and Aya's like, fine, I'll try.
Yeah, wow. I feel like Mitsuki's desire for them to be friends is like so like weirdly forced and misguided. Like, Aya definitely does not want to be their friend.
Yeah, it's just like, they are from rival basketball teams that are trying to win the thing, like they don't want this. They don't want this at all.
Yeah, they don't want to be his friend. And like they also are like super defensive of Toa.
Yeah.
And, like, not interested in, I don't know. I feel that trip did make me feel a little bad for Aya though, because I'm like, Aya has no friends. Who does Aya hang out with?
It's true. Like, Aya's that person on his team who's like too serious about it, right? So he's always giving orders to them, so like they don't want to hang out with him seemingly outside of basketball that much. Like, I guess he goes to the cafe for their school festival with other people, but it's like, were they actually Aya's friends? I don't know, unclear.
Right, like it seems like he has like people he hangs out with from Hojo, but no one who's like his like confidant or
Yeah.
Like his mom is his best friend.
His mom is his best friend, and she's like, you are 17, you're an idiot.
Yeah, and his mom is like, you need to grow the F up.
Why do I let you be such an idiot?
I'm gonna send you back to America.
She's like, I try to help you, I just let you. I try. I overheard you with a girl. Like, I tried. It's not working. I'm just gonna call you an idiot now.
Yeah, Aya needs. I feel like Toa and Mitsuki get together, and then Aya needs to like find a nice therapist and like works you through his childhood trauma.
Yeah, I just kept being like, Aya going to America also felt very underutilized, or like, I don't know. There was something like, it's like he gets bullied in America. I felt like his experience being a foreigner in America where he didn't know English in the beginning should have been very formative, and it's like very brushed off, right? Like
Yeah, it's kind of just like I faced adversity and like that's what made me strong, and I like learned that I have to be strong or else like no one will respect me. And
yeah.
like, okay. But then his like whole, I don't know, I think this is just like a me thing, not like a universal thing, but like I find his whole like, and I'm always gonna love Mitsuki the most in my whole life. It's like very like off-putting.
Yeah, no.
Where I'm just like, maybe, but like maybe you could just like move on.
Well, yeah, it's super off-putting coming from him. Like, cuz I feel like most people don't really we don't really move around that much, actually. Like, most people live within like 50 miles of where they grew up or something, is like a statistic, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, you have a limited set of people when your universe is like kind of tiny, right? But Aya has moved across the world. Like, he knows Japanese and English. Like, he's so well versed in stuff. Like, he could find there's so many people for him to meet and actually understand and like connect with, right? Like,
Yes.
and I'm just like, dude, the world is like your oyster here, man. There's so many girls. Like,
Yeah, there's so many girls who you could like not be like complete weirdos about.
yeah, like, come
You could have
on.
like a healthy relationship with someone as like an equal instead of like being like they're trying to be their savior.
Yeah, get this savior complex out of you.
Yeah, I needs to like go through some things that are like not with Mitsuki. He's like so weirdly fixated on her.
And he had so many years to do. That's why I'm like, I don't understand. What did you do? This whole you just played basketball? I don't
Yeah, he
understand.
just played basketball really, really well.
Really well.
And thought about coming back to like, I don't know. It's like a nice, they have a connection and they were, as friends. But I'm like, it would be nice. I feel like it would have been like a nice conclusion also in some ways for Aya if they had like, maybe that's like the epilogue I really wanted.
Yeah.
Like Mitsuki and Aya like just being able to like be friends.
Mm.
And him like channeling his like I want to save her into like I just want to like be her, like be close to her and like keep in touch.
Yeah, like we get to see them talk on the phone once. But then yeah, like it is kind of ruined by the last story being like Aya clearly has not gotten over
Yeah,
stuff.
he has not moved on.
He has
And
to relive this all the time.
fine. That's fine. It's gonna take some time. You're obsessed with her for like 5 years.
You're obsessed with her for too long.
Like, I get it. But yeah, like it would be nice to kind of see an epilogue or like an after story where Aya and Mitsuki like are friends and he can like support her in like a friendly way instead of like a I need you to see me as a man way.
I need you to see me as a man because you thought I was a girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this manga.
Aya.
Okay, so what were your overall, like thoughts on this series? Because I do feel like rereading it again, I was like, okay, there are some uneven bits, but overall, I still feel like it's a very one of the most well composed like contemporary shoujo mangas, like light, fluffy contemporary shoujo mangas.
Yeah, I agree. It's like Waiting for Spring. It's just like so soft. Like it is like I get why it's like hard to recommend this manga because it's not like hooky or it's not like super funny or but like
Yeah.
it's just like so sweet and like the boys are so nice.
The boys are so nice.
And you like really like get the moments that you like want to have. And I feel like there's a recommendation for it too. It's only like it's really only 13 volumes. You don't really have to read the 14th one.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Unless you like really want to see Nana and Ryuji bone, in which case you totally need to read the 14th volume. Like yeah, it's over in 13 volumes. And for me that's like a high recommendation for it as like a contemporary soft shoujo. I don't know. Some of them just go on too long. Skip beat. Sorry.
Skip beat.
Kimi ni Todoke, 33 volumes.
Yep, Kimi Sonoke ended up being pretty long. I was like, I don't know. They got together in volume 10. Did I need these other 20 volumes? All right.
Right? So I feel like because of its length, Waiting for Spring, like the pacing is like really nice. And so like you never like get to the points where it's like something really crazy has to happen.
Yeah, nothing crazy has to happen
like,
here. You're like,
we have to introduce a new character. Like we have to come up with a million reasons that the main leads can't be together.
Yeah.
Because we need to keep going. Like it's like really nicely paced. Like the story beats are really nice. It has all the like doki doki moments. Like everyone is very likable. There's nothing that's like a big waving red flag either in this.
Yeah. Just like minor red flags, but you're like, that's okay. Shoujo manga can be way worse. So
yeah, like I think we talked about this last time we recorded, but I think maybe it was off mic about daytime shooting star.
Oh yeah.
Now we were like, oh, that one's polarizing. Like there's like nothing. Like it's just like so sweet. It's like when you just want to like curl up and like read like a sweet love story, like a nice girl and a nice boy, where she like writes "I like you" on his wristband, and that's like her confession.
Yeah.
This is the one. Like this is the one for you.
This is the one. I know. I definitely really love Waiting for Spring. I'm like, I'll probably reread it. Yeah. Or if I don't reread it in full, I think it will be one of those ones where I'm like, I just want to see Towa with his cat, you know? Or like I just want to look at the picture where he scoops up Mitsuki after Reina like tricked her into hugging Towa. You know? Like,
yes, so cute. Yeah, and I feel like I'm describing Waiting for Spring more like what it isn't than what it is, but it's like I feel like sometimes romance can be frustrating to read because it can, like, the romance itself can become frustrating. You know, where you're like, why don't they just like
why don't they just do this thing?
Why don't they just talk? Or like, I can't believe the door slammed and cut off her confession. Or
yeah.
Thunder kept him from hearing it, or like whatever crazy crazy thing where you just like get frustrated and you're like, why don't they just? And I feel like Waiting for Spring like never has that moment.
No.
I mean, I think we were a little frustrated that she didn't return its confession right away.
Yeah, but it's different because like everything that prevents them from being together has always been logically seated, right? Like it's like, well, technically they're not supposed to date because there's the rule. Technically, yeah, it's like a bit crappy to like sure, she could say that she likes Toa, but then if she's not dating him, like she has to be very clear with Aya, and she's like uncomfortable with that, you know, like the logic is always there, so you're like, okay, this is like a bit contrived, but not like,
yeah, but it doesn't get to that point where you're like, like
yeah, just do it already,
just do it, just tell Aya that you can't date him.
Yeah,
like everything like just moves along in like a really like nice way where it's like not too easy, but it's also like you never reach that point really like you want to throw the book across the room and just be like, just confess. Like,
just confess. Or even like I feel like Ryuji and Nana could be annoying because like he actually confesses like 3 different times,
a few times,
right? But it's like actually that worked really well, you know?
It does work really well for them.
Or like, is it 4 times? Okay, so he confesses to her at the very beginning, right?
Well, he confesses to Mitsuki on accident.
True, but we all know that he likes her, and she's just like, no. Then I guess, he confesses to her again at her birthday thing, and she's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But she doesn't say, like, no, I like you, let's date. Then he confesses again, and he's like, hey, let's date, and she like gives him excuses about why they can't. But then like quickly after that, you know, they get together. So
yeah, then he confesses again, and then it happens for him.
Yeah. So fine, I'll say 3.5.
3.5 confessions. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's like a nice length. The pacing is nice. The boys are nice. Aya. I mean, we've talked a lot of crap about Aya. but
he is not the worst boy in a shoujo manga by
he's
far.
really not. Like there are moments where I like Aya and feel like he's sympathetic. Like he is like the cool cool shoujo romance lead, you know, he's like that wants to like sweep her off her feet, and he definitely has like some moments where he gets to like be cool
Yeah.
and like feel like he really cares for her, which I think he does. He just doesn't know how to show it.
Oh, I feel like the one moment of frustration I have was that like that he got hit by a car, but I'm just like, you know what? Shoujo manga really loves people getting hit by cars for no reason, so fine.
Did the car even hit him?
That's true. I'm unclear whether the car hit or if he hurt his leg in the like running and jumping out of the way.
Yeah, it was. I agree. Unclear if the car actually made contact. Or if he just twisted his leg, saving Mitsuki from death.
Yeah. So fine. Like the car didn't even hit him, so it's okay. Right?
Yeah. But even that was like, yeah, he gets hit by the car. Like, you know. But then he's not out of commission for like that long. You know, it's not like, and that's why he couldn't play in the tournament and it ruined his basketball career.
Yeah, or it doesn't become a thing where Mitsuki's like, oh my god, he hurt his leg for me, so like I have to go out with him. Yeah, or something, right? Like it doesn't become that. She's just like, he is so dishonest with me. I need him to let me see him so that I can reject his ass. You know?
Yes. Wow. So true. Yeah, I was concerned. I was like, oh man, Mitsuki's like gonna date him now out of guilt because he like ruined his high school basketball career to save her. And then she's like, nah.
She's like, oh, he will be fine. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like he's like, oh, and he won't be able to play basketball for the rest of his high school life. It was like he needs to rest for 2 months.
But see, okay, yeah, I feel like this is what makes Waiting for Spring good. It's just like the subtle, it's like it has all the tropes in it, but then like there's like a subtle inversion of them where you're like, lol, it's funny now. You know? Like,
yeah, it's not like that level of like, I have to take his place on the basketball team.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, this would be super dramatic in some other shoujo manga, but here it's just like, that's just life. Oh well.
Right,
you know?
right. In another shoujo manga, I gets hit by the car, and the doctors tell him he can never walk again.
Yeah. And then Mitsuki has to date him out of guilt because he saved her.
And then Mitsuki spends 3 volumes dating him.
Yeah, and Towa's sad, and like...
And then eventually ends up having to like walk away from him to be with her true love.
Yeah. I say this as somebody who, you know, the episode that's coming out before these two is the ending of Ao Haru Ride. And so I'm like, yeah, you know, that's the type of stuff that would happen in Ao Haru Ride. And I'm just like, no, see, it's refreshing that it doesn't happen here.
Yeah. Sometimes I really like those like big dramatic moments, but it's also nice to just like have a series that's like relatively chill.
Yeah. Chill series. Read it. Everybody, Basketball Boys. Girly Kuroko.
Yes. This is the shoujo Kuroko's basketball.
Yeah, I know.
That's definitely how we should be pitching it.
I think that might actually work pretty good. Like, I don't know, maybe.
I mean, maybe it's not inaccurate.
It's not.
It's not inaccurate. This is the shoujo Kuroko's basketball.
I think that's a pretty good marketing pitch. Yeah. So. Anyway, everybody, thanks for listening to Shojo and Tell. Comments, questions, constructive criticism, concerns. Need to gush about your OTP? Email shoujoandtell@gmail.com or leave a comment on the episode's YouTube page. We're at Shojo and Tell on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Kelly, where can people find you and your work on the internet?
You guys can find me on twitter.com. And you can find the backlog of my old podcast, One Panel Later, at onepanellater.com or on Twitter. And you can find like old but really good manga reviews on the Barnes & Noble Sci-Fi and Fantasy blog.
Yes, RIP Barnes & Noble Sci-Fi and Fantasy blog.
So sad.
Are you excited every time you listen to a new episode from us? If so, please consider leaving a rating on Apple Podcasts. This will help the show reach more hearts, or at least ears. Thanks again for listening. I do not have the next episode planned yet, so it's a mystery shoujo adventure. Stay tuned until then. Bye.